Today we're jumping straight into what's really happening in the Sparwood real estate market right now. There's a trend emerging in the numbers that we simply can't ignore, and it might be signaling the beginning of a major shift. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Sparwood, timing matters more than ever, especially in a small but fast evolving market influenced by affordability pressures, resource sector employment, and competition from nearby communities like FERNIE. Before we unpack the key trend you need to watch, here's a quick snapshot of Sparwood's latest numbers. In November of 2025, Sparwood's market delivered a really clear message. Detached homes continued to anchor the market, but activity levels across other property types show a softer, more cautious environment. Single-family homes, Sparwood recorded 3 sales, which represents a 50% increase year over year. The benchmark price climbed to $547,000, up 3.2% year over year. Townhomes, there were 0, not a zilch. Townhome sales were recorded in November with no sales. No benchmark price was reported for this month. Condos and apartments, Sparwood saw 2 apartment sales. This was down from last year. The benchmark price, however, rose to $185,900, up 3.7% year over year. These local numbers sit inside of broader regional data from the Kootenays. Region-wide, we saw single-family home sales at 112, which was up 17.9%, with a benchmark price of $607,500. Townhome sales at 18, that was down 14%. Benchmark price, $501,100. Condo sales, there was 24. That's down 27%. Benchmark price, $323,700. Days to sell, single-family homes across the Kootenays averaged 72 days, condos 97 days, and townhomes 93 days. So Sparwood is showing rising prices and modest activity in detached homes, but deeper signals across townhomes and apartments. And that mixed pattern is where the deeper trend starts to emerge. So Belzy, what's really going on? Well, let me tell you. Here's what it looks like on the ground right now. Over the past 2 years, Sparwood saw a surge of interest from buyers priced out of FERNIE and CRANBROOK, especially those looking for affordability, rental potential, or space. Detached listings under $600,000 often drew multiple visits within the first week, but this fall the pace has changed. Buyers are still touring homes, but they're taking longer to make decisions. Offers are more conservative, and even well-presented homes can sometimes sit for a few extra weeks before the right buyer steps forward. Sparwood isn't cooling dramatically, but buyer urgency is, and urgency always shifts before the broader market does. So right now, the main trend we need to watch is this. Momentum is softening across attached housing, even as detached homes remain steady. And here's how we know. Townhome sales dropped to 0. Condo sales were modest at 2. Regionally, townhomes are taking a long time, 93 days to sell. Condo sales are down 27%. And so what does all that mean? When attached homes begin to lag while detached homes continue performing, it usually indicates buyers are becoming more cautious. Budget sensitivity is rising, and the entry price segments are feeling the affordability squeeze first. And because attached homes often act as the early warning indicator of demand cycles, this softening is worth watching closely. This isn't a downturn, it's the beginning of a leverage shift, where buyers gradually gain some more negotiating space. So one of the biggest forces shaping the market heading into 2026 is mortgage renewals. The Bank of Canada has begun easing interest rates, but rate cuts have been modest. Meanwhile, nearly 3/4, 75%, of all Canadian mortgages will renew before the end of 2026. At 1.5 to 2% rates back in 2020, 2021 are now staring down potentially much higher renewal payments. Even with gradual cuts, those renewals may tighten budgets. So how does this affect SPARWOOD? SPARWOOD has a higher share of first-time homebuyers, young families, and owners with budget-sensitive payment structures. When renewal pressure rises nationally, SPARWOOD often sees slower move-up activity, more price-sensitive buyers, and occasionally a modest increase in listings from owners who choose to sell rather than absorb the higher payments. While SPARWOOD is not a high-distress market, even a slight rise in motivated sellers can shift market balance, especially in a community that is so small with limited monthly sales volume. So what should a buyer do? If you're a buyer in SPARWOOD right now, the next few months may offer a unique advantage. Not because prices are falling, but because competition is softening. So here's your strategy. Get a hold of your bank, get a hold of your mortgage broker, whichever one. Even small rate declines can improve affordability, and locking in early protects you from volatility. So get your pre-approval done now. Focus on properties with higher days on market. Across the region, 93 days to sell a townhome or just 97 to sell a condo. You come in a little more aggressive on those days, and you can probably negotiate yourself a pretty good deal. Use the leverage shift. When fewer properties sell at or above list, buyers gain room to negotiate on price, conditions, repairs, completion dates, etc. You're a little bit more in the driver's seat, and you're not being told what you need to do. Pay attention to the benchmark pricing. Despite slowdowns in activity, SPARWOOD's prices remain resilient. Detached homes are up 3.2% and apartments are up 3.7% year over year. And this tells us that SPARWOOD is stable, and buying into a stable market during a slowdown in competition is often a smart long-term move. So what should sellers do? Well, for sellers in SPARWOOD, strategy is everything right now. Price according to the market, not last year's momentum, and the BC assessment isn't necessarily on point right now on all properties. With attached homes cooling, buyers are more price conscious. Overpricing leads to extended days on market, followed by multiple price adjustments. Lean into preparation and presentation. In smaller markets like SPARWOOD, listings that look polished and stand out dramatically. Homes with strong photography, accurate pricing, good social media, and good condition attract the best qualified buyers. Understand the segment. Detached homes are performing well, rising prices and rising sales. Attached homes are showing slower activity and require careful positioning. Apartment buyers are value-driven and highly sensitive to monthly costs. Consider your timing. Late winter, early spring often bring renewed interest, especially from buyers priced out of FERNIE or really relocating for work. Listing ahead of that cycle can position sellers well. So Bellsy, what's the bottom line here? What are we talking about? Well, so is a big change come to the SPARWOOD real estate market? Absolutely. But it's not the kind that the headlines are predicting or talking about. We are not Vancouver. We are not Toronto. We're not seeing a crash. We're not seeing a freeze. What we are seeing is a softening of momentum, especially in the attached market, while detached homes remain stable and healthy. This is the early phase of the market returning to balance. For buyers, that means more negotiating room. For sellers, that means sharper pricing and preparation. And for the SPARWOOD market overall, it means stepping into a steadier, more sustainable rhythm after years of faster, more emotional market activity.